I didn't grow up with dreams. I grew up with survival. My name is Emma. I was born in a small village in Ghana, West Africa, in a house that always felt too full and too empty at the same time. Full of people, empty of options. My father is a farmer. My mother is a farmer too. My father also has another wife. His first wife has 7 children. My mother has 9. I am number 8 for her and number 15 for him. You don't need a calculator to know there was never enough. We didn't talk about breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We talked about whether there would be food at all. Some days, food was barbecue and stew. Some days, food was water and sleep. School? Only the 2 oldest children of my father completed primary school. The rest of us were extra hands on the farm, extra mouths at the fire, extra bodies on the floor at night. I remember watching children in uniforms walk past our house, laughing, their bags swinging on their backs. They looked like a parade from another universe. A universe where there was time to sit in a classroom instead of standing in a field. I wanted that universe, but one doesn't cook food. One doesn't pay fees. When things became truly unbearable, my father did what many poor fathers do when their own hands are not enough. He started sending his children away. They call it going to stay with someone. An auntie in the city, a distant cousin, a church member, a helper. But I'll tell you the truth. It's outsourcing poverty. One by one, my brothers and sisters were sent off. Some to chop bar work, some to be housegirls, some to be companions to older relatives. The day my turn came, my mother didn't cry where anyone could see. She tied my clothes in a black plastic bag, smoothed my hair and said, "Amma, be humble, respect them. Don't disgrace us." Then she pressed something small into my palm. It wasn't money. It was a tiny wooden cross on a string. "God will see you," she said. "Even if I don't." We took a trotro to Accra. The air changed from dust and goats to exhaust fumes and horns. Buildings grew taller, then taller again, until I felt like the city was leaning over me. We stopped in front of a gate. Not a door, a gate, high white with a guard. Inside was the house where my life was supposed to change. The couple who took me in were the kind of people we used to see only on TV. Let me call them Mr. and Mrs. Mensah. Big house, big cars, big life. They had 3 children, 2 boys and 1 girl. All of them younger than me. Their skin smelled like cocoa butter and clean laundry, not sweat and smoke. Their bedrooms were bigger than our whole room back home. I came as a house help, but something unexpected happened. They treated me kindly. I slept in a proper bed, not on a mat near the door. I ate the same food they ate, rice with chicken, noodles, jollof with actual meat, not just bone and skin. The first night, I kept waking up, touching the mattress to make sure it was still there. The next week, something bigger happened. One morning, Mrs. Mensah called me to sit. "Amma, you cannot just work. You will go to school with them," she said. My brain couldn't process that sentence. School? Me? I stood in front of a mirror in a brand new uniform that still smelled like plastic from the shop. I didn't recognize the girl staring back. At school, some teachers assumed I was their cousin. No one knew I ironed their uniforms at 5 a.m. and washed the plates after dinner. Only I knew, but I didn't complain. For the first time in my life, my dreams were allowed to wake up. The youngest child, the girl, clung to me like a shadow. She called me Sister Amma. When she had biscuits, she broke them into 2 equal halves and always gave me the bigger piece. For a girl who grew up counting grains of gari, that kind of love feels like magic. We shared secrets at night when everyone slept, about crushes at school, about the big world we saw on TV, about what we wanted to be when we grow up. She wanted to be a doctor. I didn't know what I wanted to be. I just knew I wanted to keep feeling human. For about 3 years, that house became my universe. Half house help, half big sister, half student. Yes, I know that's too many halves. That's what my life felt like. But I forgot something important. Magic always has a condition. One evening, I came home from school and saw suitcases lined up in the living room. Big, shiny, foreign-looking suitcases. The boys were jumping around, shouting, "We're going! We're going!" Going where? Abroad, they said. We're relocating, all of us. Abroad. The word tasted like a movie in my mouth. Mr. and Mrs. Mensah called me to sit. What they said next changed everything. "Amma," Mr. Mensah began, "you are not just helping us. You have become part of this family. We have decided to adopt you legally so you can travel with us as our eldest daughter." I stared at them. Adopt me? They weren't just letting me live with them. They wanted to put their name on my papers, give me the chance to leave poverty completely. They said it clearly. "Because we love you and we want to help you escape the life you came from, we will make you our daughter on paper. It will make the process easier. You will go abroad with us." I cried so hard I couldn't breathe. For a girl who used to share one bowl of food with 5 siblings, being chosen like that felt like God had pointed at me in a crowd. But there was a complication. On paper, to fit their relocation plan, I needed to pass as a minor. At that time, I was already 20. They believed I was around 17 when I came. For the visa and adoption process, the safest option, according to what they were told, was to register me as 14 so everything could be processed smoothly as a dependent child. Age is just numbers, they said. It doesn't change who you are. It just helps you travel with us. I heard the words, "Because of love. Because we want to help you escape poverty. You are our daughter now." I told myself it was fine. For school, for a new life abroad, to change my entire destiny, I could be 14 again. I didn't fully understand the legal implications. I only understood the promise, "You will not be left behind." We did the adoption. We did the paperwork. We got the visas. At the airport, my mother hugged me like she was trying to memorize my shape. "Don't forget where you came from," she whispered, "and don't forget who helped you," I promised. At that moment, I thought the story was about to become a miracle. I didn't know it was building toward a tragedy instead. Thank you for listening, and please subscribe to hear the rest of my story. Abroad smelled like coffee and cold air. Everything felt bigger. The roads, the houses, the refrigerators, even the supermarket aisles. The silence in our new neighborhood was somehow louder than any noise I'd ever known. We moved into a quiet area where houses stood apart from each other like they were shy. The children got new schools, and so did I. I was introduced to this new world as the eldest daughter, aged 14. But in reality, I was a 20-year-old woman wearing a teenager's age like an oversized borrowed jacket. Inside the house, I was still Amma the helper, the big sister, the one who woke up early to make sure uniforms were ironed, lunch boxes were packed, and the floors were clean. But outside, I was Amma, 14, high school student. It was strange. Teenage boys would try to flirt with me in the school hallway. I'd just smile politely and walk away. It felt so wrong because, in my head, I already carried the heavy scars of adulthood hunger, sacrifice, and a crushing sense of responsibility. In class, the teachers treated me like any other teenager. But whenever they'd talk about what you want to be by 30, I would silently do the math, and my stomach would twist into a knot. 30 for me was only 10 years away, not 16. On paper, it looked like I had gained time. In reality, I felt like I had lost it. To be fair, Mr. and Mrs. Mensah, my adoptive parents, really tried. They bought me winter clothes, my very first proper coat, with matching gloves and boots. They signed all my school forms, attended parent-teacher meetings, and even patiently corrected teachers who mispronounced my name. Sometimes, when we all sat together at the dinner table and they introduced us as our 4 children, my heart would swell with a feeling I couldn't name. It felt like belonging. But then there were other times. Times when conversations about documents, passports, and age came up. In those moments, my heart would shrink. I couldn't escape the feeling that my presence in that country, this new life, was built on a lie. A lie born from their love, yes, but a lie nonetheless. So, I was grateful, deeply grateful, and also, quietly, terrifyingly afraid. It didn't take long for other African students to find me. We have a way of sensing each other in foreign corridors. Ghanaians, Nigerians, Sierra Leoneans, Jamaicans, we all ended up at the same lunch table. We'd swap stories about home, complain about the bland food, and laugh about how people abroad butchered our names. One day, the inevitable question came. "Amma, how old are you?" I gave the official answer, 14. They all just stared at me. One of the older girls let out a short laugh. "Stop lying," she said, looking right at me. "Your eyes are not 14. Later that day, at the bus stop, I finally told the truth. "I'm 20, I said quietly, the words barely leaving my lips. But they had to reduce my age so I could travel with my adoptive family. The girls went silent. The air grew heavy. Then, the questions started pouring in, one after another. Do they treat you well? Do you get paid? Do you have your own papers? And the one that hit the hardest, what happens when you turn 18 on paper? I immediately defended the Mensahs. They treat me better than anyone has in my whole life, I insisted. They adopted me because they love me. They're paying for my school. They saved me. They heard me, I think. But they also heard something else underneath my words. They heard the unspoken truth. This girl is technically an adult, trapped on a child's documents. A few weeks later, one of them pulled me aside in the busy cafeteria. "Amma, listen," she said, her voice low and serious. "If your real age is 20 and the documents here say you're 14, you can go to the authorities. You can tell them the truth, seek asylum, and explain everything. Then you can work legally as an adult, send money home to your mother, and finally be independent." She made it sound like a rescue plan. Not a betrayal. A rescue. That night, I lay in bed, unable to sleep, her words replaying over and over in my mind. I imagined it all. Sending money to my mother so she would never have to bend over the farm again. My siblings in proper school uniforms, not secondhand, not torn. I imagined renting a small, simple place of my own one day. Having my own key, my own name on a lease agreement. The more I imagined it, the heavier that fake 14 started to feel. It was like a weight pressing down on my chest. Was I grateful? Yes, more than words could say. Was I scared of being trapped forever in a child's identity? Absolutely. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You can be deeply grateful and still be deeply afraid. And fear, especially when you are poor and far from home, is a very, very loud voice. I didn't march into any government office. I didn't make any secret appointments. I just talked. I trusted the wrong ears with the right information. I told my friends my real age. And they told other people. The secret slipped into group chats, became late-night gossip, and was whispered in school corridors. Someone told one of the Mensah children. That child told their cousin. And the cousin, of course, told their mother. In my home country, rumors travel by word of mouth. Abroad, they travel at the speed of Wi-Fi. One evening, I came home, and I felt it the second I walked through the door. The air was thick, heavy with unspoken tension. The TV was off. The children were unnaturally quiet. Mr. and Mrs. Mensah were sitting at the dining table, not eating, just sitting, waiting. "Amma," Mr. Mensah said, his voice flat. "Come and sit." My legs shook all the way to the chair. On the table between them lay his phone. He pressed play. I heard my own voice. It was from a voice note I didn't even remember being recorded. I was laughing with my friends, saying, "I'm not really 14, I'm 20. They only reduced my age so I could travel with them." I wanted the floor to open up and swallow me. I wanted to climb inside that phone and just disappear. "Is this you?" he asked, though he already knew the answer. I could only nod. My throat was too tight to speak. Mrs. Mensah's eyes were wet with tears. "We adopted you," she said, her voice trembling with hurt. "We put our name on you. We used every connection we had to help you leave poverty. And now you're planning to report us? To say we lied? Do you have any idea what that could do to our status in this country, to our children, to everything we have worked so hard to build? I tried to explain. I told them I was confused. I said people were pressuring me. I tried to tell them I was just scared of being stuck as a child forever. But they didn't hear any of it. To them, the story was simple and brutal. A poor girl was rescued from poverty. She was adopted out of love. And then, that same poor girl decided to bite the hand that fed her. The poor girl had become a legal risk. We thought you were 17 when you came, Mr. Mensah said, his tone cold and final. We changed your age to help you. We adopted you as our own. But now you are putting everything at risk. We cannot keep you here. Just like that. There was no family meeting. No slow, painful discussion. Just a verdict. We are sending you back to Ghana. They didn't shout. They didn't beat me. What they did might have hurt even more. They moved with a cold efficiency. Within days, my ticket was booked. My room was emptied out. All my clothes were stuffed back into the same suitcase. My life crammed back into the same old story. They didn't tell the neighbors. They didn't tell the church. They just said, Amma is going back home. The youngest child, the little girl who called me Sister Amma, cried so hard she could barely breathe. You will come back, right? She asked me. I couldn't answer her, because I had no idea if I would ever leave Ghana again. That last night in their house, I couldn't sleep. I walked through the rooms in the dark, touching the furniture, the kitchen counter where I learned to cook new dishes, the sofa where we all watched movies together. I stood by the little prayer corner where I had knelt so many times and thanked God for bringing me into this family. Was I ungrateful? Was I wicked? Or was I just a poor girl who panicked at the thought of being trapped in a lie forever? The human heart is rarely clean. It's usually a messy mixture of gratitude and fear, love and selfishness, hope and panic. I carried all of that with me onto the plane. As the plane took off, I felt like a piece of me was being peeled away, a future that I could see but would now never touch. The Accra airport smelled like home, that familiar mix of heat, sweat, and fried food. But I didn't feel at home. I felt like a package that had been sent out and was now being returned, marked unwanted. My father wasn't there, but my mother was. Her face was lined with new worry, but the moment she saw me, it just lit up. Amma, she cried, hugging me so tight. My child is back. My child has come. She didn't know the details yet. She only knew the headline. The people who took you sent you back. On the trotro ride back to the village, she held my hand like she was afraid I might just disappear. We reached home. The same compound, the same dust, the same struggle. But I wasn't the same girl anymore. I had seen snow. I had seen supermarkets where they threw away perfectly good food at the end of the day. I had slept in a heated house and cried over making choices, not over an empty stomach. Coming back was like trying to fit into a dress you had already outgrown. It just didn't work. In the weeks that followed, my mother did what mothers do when their children are in trouble. She begged. She called everyone. She sent messages through anyone who still had a connection to the Mensahs. She told them, please, she's young. She made a mistake. Have mercy on her. Give her another chance. But there was no response. Every path was blocked. Phone numbers went unanswered. Relatives suddenly didn't want to get involved. For the Mensahs, closing those doors was a form of self-protection, but for me it felt like being erased. It was as if I had never sat at their table, never washed their children's clothes, never helped their daughter with her homework. It was like I was never in their holiday photos. One mistake, and I was no longer part of the family. I was just that girl from Ghana all over again. And in the village, people ask questions. "Ei, we heard you went to America. How was it? Why are you back so soon? Did they deport you? Did you do something wrong?" I made up small lies to cover the bigger truth. "Oh, I just came back to visit. Oh, there were some issues with my papers. Oh, I'll go back soon." But at night, alone in the dark, the real question screamed inside my head. Why did I tell those friends my real age? Why did I listen to their advice about asylum? Why did I risk everything I had? The answer is uncomfortable. It's because when you grow up with absolutely nothing and then you suddenly get a taste of everything, fear sits right next to gratitude. The fear that it will all be taken away from you. The fear that you will always be dependent on someone else. The fear that you will never, ever be truly free. I wanted safety, but I also wanted agency. And in trying to have both, I broke my own blessing. People think the story ends when the plane lands. It does not. It continues in the quiet, in the shame, in the rebuilding. Back in Ghana, I had two options: sit in the dust and cry about what I lost, or stand in the same dust and ask, what can I build with what I still have? I chose both. First, I cried. Then, slowly I began to build. I went back to helping my mother on the farm. The same hoe, the same soil, the same back pain. But I was not the same girl who had left. I had seen another world. I knew what education could do. So I started going to the local library whenever I could. I used old computers at a tiny internet cafe to read about scholarships, vocational courses, opportunities. I did small jobs in town to save money, washing clothes for neighbors, selling sachet water, braiding hair. Every city felt like a seed. I applied for evening classes. It was nothing like the American high school I had attended, but it was something. My dream had changed shape. It was no longer go to America again. It became never be completely powerless again. Sometimes, before I sleep, I imagine going back in time and meeting myself in that American high school hallway. The version of me who had just told her friends, I am actually 20. What would I say to her? I think I would say 3 things. First, do not let hungry people feed on your confusion. My friends were not evil. They wanted me to be free. But they were speaking from outside my situation. If their plan failed, they would not be the ones on a plane back to Ghana. I would. Second, learn the difference between help that controls and help that empowers. The men says help me. They changed my life. But their help also depended on my silence, my smallness, my dependence. The moment I started to reach for my own voice, I became a threat. Third, do not gamble with other people's legal lives unless you are ready for them to cut you off completely. If an asylum case had blown up, it might have affected not just me but their status, their records, their children's future. When people feel you are threatening their entire life, they will protect themselves, even if it means hurting you. None of that makes what they did painless. It just makes it human. Maybe you are a house help right now. Maybe you are living with a family in a big city, cooking for them, bathing their kids, sleeping in a small room near the kitchen. Maybe someone has promised to take you abroad. Maybe they already did. Maybe your age is correct on paper. Maybe it is not. Maybe you are thinking of running, of seeking asylum, of telling the truth in a way that could expose the people who helped you. I am not here to tell you what to do. I am here to tell you to slow down and count the full cost. Ask yourself, if this plan fails, where do I land? If I break this bridge, do I have another one? If I am being exploited, do I have evidence or just fear? Talk to a lawyer, not just to friends. Talk to people who can see the whole board, not just the piece in front of you. And whatever you do, understand that your life is more than one country, one visa, one family, one mistake. If somehow this reaches someone who has taken a child into their home to help them, I want to say this: gratitude is not a contract. Yes, you changed her life. Yes, you give her food, shelter, education. Yes, maybe you even love her. But she is not a project. She is a person. If the only way she can stay in your house is by erasing her age, her voice, her desires, then what you are building is not a family. It is a controlled environment. You are allowed to protect your legal life. You are also responsible for how you dispose of the people you once called daughter. You did not just send me back to Ghana. You sent me back with a belief about my own worth. It has taken years to clean that belief. You might be wondering, Amma, why talk about this on the internet? Why expose your shame? Because silence protects systems, not souls. Because somewhere, a girl is standing in an American hallway right now, torn between gratitude and fear. Because somewhere, a mother is in a Ghanaian village, praying that the people who took her child will keep their promise. Because somewhere, a rich family is calling a girl our daughter while holding her documents in a safe. I am telling this story so that all three of them can think a little deeper. If you have watched this far, I want to ask you, do you think the Mensahs were right to send me back? Do you think I was wrong to even consider asylum? If you were in my position at 20, would you have done the same? Tell me in the comments. Not because I need punishment or praise, but because these conversations are happening in whispers all over the world. And maybe, if we speak them out loud, the next Amma, the next family will make a slightly wiser choice. This is PsychConfessions, where we take the stories nobody wants to admit and say them out loud. Kindly share, like, and subscribe. Do well to comment your opinions too.